I'm Anna. I'm an architect, I'm an artist, and I've lived here in the docks for 6 years. And I'm utterly inspired by our environment. I just love being here. It's beautiful. My piece for the exhibition is a slight subversion on the theme of using rubbish materials to create art, and I'm proposing to use the dock itself. Since the decline of the docks in the late 1970s, the water itself has been little used for much use, other than obviously, there's merit in it being beautiful and it's lovely to look at. But it was something that was created to be a hard-working piece of infrastructure, and it no longer does that. So my idea is to explore ways in which we might recycle the dock landscape itself to be more hard-working and to deal with the issues of the climate crisis. My hope is, through doing this exercise for the exhibition, is that it not necessarily result in a solution. I'm not an engineer, for example. However, I'm hoping that it will provoke debate and provoke discussion around whether we can actually use it for something other than the engineer has.
There's Martin Cottis. We've managed to get a gallery space here, and it's just, it seems like something really great is beginning to happen here. Well, it starts with the fact that I would carve, and that came about quite a long time ago, and I just, discovering the technique, I just realised I loved it. And then it's combining the carving with using old, discarded tools. So that fitted in quite nicely with the Wallall project. I don't think about, when I'm doing it, I'm not really thinking about what people are how they're going to react. It's all about, am I reacting well? Is it inspiring enough to carry on? It inspires someone else to think about something, and it might be completely different what I had in mind. The materials, they're all around you, and that's really exciting. And a lot of the wood I use is stuff I find as driftwood, or I sometimes do carpentry for people. There's lots of beautiful old timber is chucked out. I'm thinking, well, I don't have to buy anything anymore.
My name is Mariana. I am from Argentina. I am a ceramist. The whole idea of this project is to be more conscious about recycling. Idea of creating a vase with raw or wild clay from the docks. In my practice, most of the time I'm buying clay. So we thought of not to do that and recycling clay from the docks. It was a challenge because it's the very first time for me trying this clay, and I thought it would be interesting. So I've learned quite a lot. The message would be, I guess, that it is possible to create something and not just buy it. And it's the same with the process of painting or drawing on it. It will be with natural pigment, so we won't be using any glazes. We will do it the most eco-friendly possible. I think it reminds me or reconnect me with the past, with how people used to do it before, and because nowadays it's kind of impossible to think of.
My name's John Lords. Finding found objects using paint that maybe is uncontrollable, something like that is quite exciting for me. It creates something that you have no idea, maybe some perception of what it will be, but the end result can be different and exciting. Like the visual impact, I would not back it up too much with a lot of text. Has it got visual impact? Is it interesting to look at? They're my two main criteria. The fun and enjoyment of actually reclaiming materials, giving them another life, giving them a new meaning, and just using that, something that's sort of halfway there for you, and you take it further. Took this banner out of the skip, and I got some mesh from a building site, dipped it in paint, and glued it around the side of the metal frame on each one, and I made a stencil, 2 stencils from the 2 sides of the shelving, and I sprayed them, really.
Hello, my name is Hernan Guardamagna, and I'm a footwear designer and maker. I love fashion and I love shoes. I think I always like architecture and industrial design, but I love fashion more. So footwear design was like the perfect meet between like those fields. Sustainability has been like a big part of my work. When I did my MA in footwear design, like the main idea behind the collection was responsible consumption and how to approach a way of designing and creating shoes that will allow the users to have like many aesthetic options as possible, buying less. The idea of sustainability was not only like conceptual, was more like practical in a way. What I want people to take from my exhibition and my workshop is the idea that warm objects could have a second life, and it's possible to upcycle them or recycle them, or I don't know, find ways to fall in love with them again.
My name is David Stevens. What I do is I'd like to transform old pallets, wood that's generally going to be crushed, burnt or whatever, into something that it's giving its life back, it's giving its purpose back. So it's not produced its life for nothing, and that's basically what I'm about. Where I come from, nothing is thrown away, and I found that in society today, people are throwing things away that could actually be used and put to use. Wood is expensive. Trees are grown, cut down. If you prepare it back, you can still use it. You're using stuff that's going to be in a landfill, or is going to create a problem. I don't want to see waste. That is the worst. And also, you are helping the environment at the same time.
I am Disha Trivedi and I'm a glass artist. I do two types of glass work, which is blown glass and recycled glass. I got involved in recycling glass when I found out I was pregnant. I was just looking and thinking for things about what kind of future I want to give to my baby. I do want them to be mesmerized with what I create. That's what I want people to know, that how difficult it is to make these pieces. And I tell them the process. I do get some shocking responses, and they say, "Oh, we really can't believe it. That's how it's made." So I love that kind of reaction. It's more about being prepared the day I go into the studio, because I don't get a lot of studio days with my baby, and glass being a very expensive hobby to do. I have to be mentally very prepared with my designs as well. I have to be very, very on it that this is going to happen.
When I make a piece that's three-dimensional, in a way for me it's like a diary. I need something, a political message, something that's happened in the news, something I've seen to generate a reaction that a lot of people would write in their diary or write it down or write an angry letter to someone. But I need to make something three-dimensional in a way in order to understand the depth and the seriousness and the observation of what's happened. Afghanistan happened, and also travelling to the Middle East region for work for many, many years, I understood the textures of the landscape. Now, this piece is made from computer packaging. It's recycled card and paper. This piece is to do with COVID. We were all locked up at home. I had milk delivered, and I decided one day to record my mood by cutting up a milk bottle and trying to make a face.
My name is Yulia Vikralova, and I have my own brand called You, It's the shortened version of my name. What inspires is actually the life itself, the human interactions, the visible and invisible things, nature, lots of things. I cannot point to you that this is where I draw my inspiration. So it's many things. Oh, I love it. It has a beautiful name, What a Load of Rubbish. It's what a load of rubbish, and you will see how beautiful actually our creations are. That rubbish can be reinvented and recreated into the most unexpected way. And you will see there are lots of humor in how people use objects. What else? It can be actually created as a visual, beautiful piece of art, but it can be also something that you can use in a different way. I believe when people see how creative one can be with rubbish, literally rubbish, something that's thrown away, it is life affirming. We can, out of almost nothing, or what is considered beneath, can create beautiful objects of art or useful objects for us to use, garments. It gives us hope. It gives us hope for our own existence, that everything is possible, literally everything.